Hey, what's going on, guys? This is going to be a song that some of you have heard and absolutely love, and some of you haven't heard and may love it. We're not sure. Story stems from a friend of mine talking about some folk artists who put Spanish in their music and thought, hey, that'd be a cool idea. But then I realized I don't know Spanish. So I thought, hey, that would be a great song, to write a song about a guy who knows nothing about Spanish and yet still tries to attempt to live that Latin life. And out of that idea came a song called The Legend of Andre Rodriguez. Just sit right back and I'll tell you a story about a man who had such fame and glory. Yes, it is true that he could sing, but he didn't know a thing about Spanish. But he'd try anyway, he'd sing what he'd say in a different language. He started off a small town boy just west of Cincinnati, growing up on 4th and Main Street, right across from Mr. Gaddy's. While flipping through the channels, he came upon a commercial with Esteban. So he picked up the phone with the high-pitched tones, said, I've gotta have one. And so begins a tale. With a cheap guitar sale, he'd practice singing like Antonio Banderas, one of the whitest kids in town. His name was Andy Brown, but he changed it to Andre Rodriguez. And soon this American boy became this Latin man. Everything was going according to his Latin plan. He had a great Latin life, but not a Latin wife. Where could he find one? In this small American town, only American girls were found, but he never gave up. And as the years went by, he started to play really well. You'd find him every Saturday outside the Taco Bell. Well, he'd play a couple sets just so he could impress the señoritas. If he found one that he liked, then he'd take her inside for a gordita. And on goes the tale. With every taco sale, he'd sing to them like Antonio Banderas. He'd say, would you get a tan? And would you take my hand and be Mrs. Andre Rodriguez? Well, he'd sing his song over and over to every girl he'd meet, till one came to him from Mexico, and the language she could speak, but he sang anyway. Yes, he sang anyway. Well, he sang anyway. Y un grano en el codo, su nariz es muy peludo. La gustaría es su carne queso cuando es viejo. Tienes tu gran culo, madre. Tienes tu gran culo, madre. Tienes tu gran culo, madre. Well, her eyes got wide. To his surprise, she blew up in that place. The mild sauce flew across the room. A gordita hit his face. He was doused in sour cream and then covered with cheese before she slapped him. How dare you, she fumed as she ran out of the room. He said, what happened? Well, the manager of Taco Bell came out into the lobby. He said, you've got to work on your Spanish, boy, because it's a little sloppy. You said she liked cheese that's old. She had a pimple on her elbow and her nose was hairy. But that's not the worst thing that you said. What really brought this to a head was her bum looked heavy. just like her mother's. Just like her mother's. And so ends the tale of our American Latin male who tried to sing like Antonio Banderas. Gordita, I will bet that you never will forget the legend of Andre Rodriguez. Oh, the legend of Andre Rodriguez. Oh, the legend of Andre Rodriguez.